I believe in a god and a goddess figure. This honors the creation cycles, the gestation of the sperm in the uterus to create life that created all of us. That spiritual process I honor at the forefront of um, as as something that came from this galactic energy. And the truth behind that is that there are galactic forms, giant suns. We rotate around, a supernova. We rotate around, we are the Milky Way galaxy. And all these other ones we're all rotating around this central point. We are rotating the sun, and I am a sun sign. So just as I rotate with you on this planet, I am in fact a sun on the inside, and that sun that comes with experience. You, in the beginning, you think as your parents do. You think as everyone around you thinks. And as you start to become educated, and to not just become educated, but become spiritually educated by connecting through prayer or your devotions, you start to, for very few of us, we start a new religion. There aren't that many founders of new religions because most people feel better off adopting a label because they're a lot more concerned they're concerned a lot, concerned quite a bit about being socially accepted. Whereas everyone is going to need a community where they can say, hey, I'm going here and I'm worshiping, just as it says in the Constitution, that I can worship, how I would want. Those types of people who were being persecuted religiously ended up migrating here to the U.S. because we are a place of tolerance. So what would people who are coming from a Muslim country, a Chinese country, a German country, all come to the United States for religious tolerance? Who are we to suddenly say, well, the U.S. is no longer religiously tolerant? We are religiously tolerant. And the reason that we are is because we are the new generation. The older generation is passing away. Our parents and their parents, the more bigoted sects, largely, not all of them, and in regards to a lot of things, color of skin, sexual orientation, discrimination against women, the list goes on. But discrimination in a way where they were not given the opportunity to vote. They were not. It doesn't matter if you have money or land. It's like you still can't vote. Those sorts of things. That's why I honor a god and a goddess, because each of them represents a different half of the year, and it makes sense to me. They are equal in the creation of life. One can't work without the other, so they should be viewed that way. Of course, when you are a lesbian or you're a gay man, you fall into a category where you will value your own biological sex more because you just don't feel that same attraction towards the opposite sex. That doesn't mean they aren't valuable, though, because whether you're not you're gay or a lesbian, you still were created by a god and goddess in that way. Your parents, a god and goddess in that way, if they believe themselves to be that. And whether or not they do, I think a lot of people will have that divine spark, but because they don't know it, because they don't know they're allowed to be deity, they just decide that, well, gosh, I just have to do what my pastor says, or gosh, the bishop told me this. They don't think about their own beliefs. What do they believe? When they're off pondering in the forest, when they're in their difficult times, when they're in their happy times, what is it that itches at them about the belief system they're in, about the faith, about the religion that they've subscribed to or chosen to stay in? Is it because they're trying to be a good parent? Do they think that a religion will make them a better parent? What are the reasons that somebody sticks with something instead of inventing their own? It's just a little ballsy, I know, but everyone needs to know at least one person in their life who is the founder of a religion. So, moving on, the truth behind all truths. So, if you look at things, there's a chain of command. Um, while you may call 911 and a police officer shows up, and um, that police officer who shows up at the house is going to want is going to be ran by a police chief, and of course there's a detective over the police officers, and then you move up and farther up the line. I mean, if this was law related, or it could be a fire, and then you move up higher, and then there's that chief and that chief. Eventually, you get all the way back to the president of the United States, and then behind him is some sort of deity. So behind Obama would be a deity, and that energy or that life force that creates us, that comes over, and it removes the negativity from us. Um, that's the whole point, really. When you think about the uses for religion, they're to remove negativity. So if you're coming from a judgmental or negative place, a lot of monotheistic faiths are this way. Um, you're incapable of looking except through the eyes of judgment, because to you there's always an exception to the rule why it's okay to judge someone, why it's okay to say, hey, your beliefs aren't good but mine are. I'm on my high horse. Your opinion doesn't mean anything. It's offending me in some way. Does it matter? In TBAT, it doesn't. It doesn't matter what people say or think. The founder of any new religion is going to take a bit of a beating, and they pretty much have to proselytize, unless it's just for personal development. Me, it's for personal development, but also for um, societal, um, a societal belief system for people of the new age to adopt, of the Aquarian age. We live in um, the information age, and so frankly, there's no reason why we shouldn't make our own religions, each of us.